A bill is making its way through the Minnesota House that would restore the right to vote to convicted felons after they are released from incarceration.
Not allowing the right to vote to those we have deemed safe to reenter the community does not further a criminal justice purpose. Restoring voting rights to those convicted of a felony crime but no longer incarcerated is one of the ways to help facilitate reintegration into the community.
The bill has been bouncing around the legislature for a few years, but Frazier feels confident it could pass this session. It goes before the House Ways and Means Committee on Monday. Currently, voting rights are not restored until a person's sentence has been fully discharged or they are no longer under any parole or probation supervision. Representative Cedric Frazier stopped by our studio this week to talk about this issue and the public safety bill, and that is today's Newsmakers.
So who would get the vote are folks that are no longer incarcerated. So you may still be convicted as a felony, you may be on parole or probation, but you are no longer incarcerated. You're back in the community, you're working a job, you're helping take care of your family, you're paying taxes. You would get your vote would be restored. So now you would have your voice back to participate in our democracy and electoral process.
You've seen a lot of people come out and testify about this, some that you didn't know were going to be
That's
there
right.
until the committee. What do you think that says?
I think that says that there's a lot of energy. People are ready. Now, what we have to know is this bill has been around for almost 10 years. People are ready and they think this is time to get it done.
So, some of the opposition goes back to a sticky issue about victims. And what's your response to that?
My response, we talked to victims. We had a letter of support from a group of several victim advocacy groups. And there was a victim that testified the other day and spoke about how they wanted accountability, but they also wanted people to be restored. They believe in a restorative process. And I think that's what we should focus on as legislators. I do believe in accountability. We punished individuals, we put them inside, we put them in prison, but now we're saying you're safe, go back into the community and do good things. Let's give them their right and their voice back to participate in our democracy.
You think this one's going to get through this year?
I'm pretty confident this is going to get through this year.
All right, let's talk a little bit about public safety. Pretty large bill. What's innovative and different about it?
What's innovative and different is we've taken a different tack. We're focusing on some of the intervention and prevention programs. There are plenty of community groups out there, and if you probably saw, if you watched that committee as well, a lot of community groups came out and testified, victim advocate groups, groups that are working with individuals that are re-entering the community to make sure they have a good path back into the community so they don't have to go back into the criminal justice system. We really took a big focus on that with $150 million for those type of organizations to work with their local governments and also with local law enforcement. And then we took a tack to look at how do we give local law enforcement the tools and the resources they need to solve crimes. Oftentimes we looked at some of our local communities and we saw that there's a real low clearance rate, meaning that individuals that have committed crimes are still out there. We want to make sure those cases get solved to take those individuals out of the community so they can't commit more harm.
And something we hear here in the suburbs is police departments having a hard time with retention and recruitment. Is there anything in the bill to address that? Yeah,
there are pieces in there to allow law enforcement to use some resources to find ways to bring in more personnel, but also to hire individuals to deal with evidence processing, investigatory processing, to free up officers that may be doing that work to put them out in the community to patrol or look into issues that they may need to solve in the community. And we'll be working on some things later to work around recruitment and retention. That was a part of my larger bill that I had last year. That bill has been reintroduced. We'll be having a conversation. And what I always tell folks, we have to look, there's tons of industries and professions that we're really having a problem filling positions. Absolutely. So we want to take a broader look. Law enforcement is one of them, but we're going to be taking a look at that.
All right, you're a busy guy, Representative Cedric Frazier, New Hope. Thanks for stopping by today.
Thank you for having me. Always a pleasure.
The announcement came out this past week for Teacher of the Year candidates. 131 teachers from all across the state were named by Education Minnesota, and some of the teachers are from our area. Let's begin with the Anoka-Hennepin School District, where a total of 9 teachers were nominated. 2 are from our area. Lisa Niederheiser is a special education teacher at Jackson Middle School, and Kelly Nelson is a special education teacher at Champlin Park High School. There are 5 candidates from Osseo area schools on the list. They are Lance Fredrickson from Oakview Elementary School, Laurie Cox from Birch Grove Elementary, Jennifer Harrell and Melissa Engel are both from Maple Grove Middle School, and Ryan Hennessy from Maple Grove Senior High. Over in the Robbinsdale School District, congratulations go out to Tatiana O'Donnell, who teaches 5th grade in Robbinsdale Spanish Immersion. And finally, from Wayzata Public Schools, there's Polly Laugan and Lauren Sabata Paxton, both teach at Central Middle School. Volunteers are busy preparing for one of the largest annual philanthropic events organized by Robbinsdale area schools. For the first time since the pandemic, empty bowls will be back to normal. This past week, volunteers met at the Fair School in Crystal to start making bowls for the event. The fundraiser is held in March of each year to raise awareness and support for local food shelves Near and Prism.
The event raises just over $20,000 that we're able to give to the food shelves. They're seeing an increased need with the change in economy and all the changes in our environment.
The actual date of the fundraiser is March 7th, but before that, there are several opportunities to get involved, buy a sponsorship, or come out and make a bowl. Art enthusiasts have a good reason to visit the Hopkins Center for the Arts this month. On display now is the 28th Annual Arts North International Juried Exhibit. The display features more than 150 pieces of art created by artists from all across the globe.
It's a terrific snapshot of art being done both in our local community, but also in a broader sense. So it gives local viewers an opportunity to see things from a little bit outside of our local aesthetic bubble.
The display is so large that the center is using its entire building for the exhibit. It runs through February 25th.